Hi there. So this is about my a follow-up video to the one I did about the Golden Rosy Cross group, and I have to say that having done their introductory course of 12 weeks, which is completely free, by the way, and you have contact with a tutor as well, which is damn good value for money. You get a lot of brilliant information, especially lessons 1 and 12. They were very, very good. Um, but I have to say that consciously or unconsciously, the Golden Rosy Cross is, as the French government originally categorized it, as a cult. Um, and they're supposed to be a mystery school. Um, well, I associate the word school with institutionalized abuse, schoolyard bullying, and boredom. Um, so, right there, you're off to a bad start calling yourself a mystery school. Because I don't like any of the word school. The only thing I got out of school is the ability to read and write. And more to do with reading because I could never write properly. And now I can't see to write properly. I have to type everything onto the computer, which is a screen that I can just about read. Um, so, of course, I suppose I'm prejudiced against the word school, even if it's got mystery in front of it. And you could never get anything out of this group really. They were very. There's something cagey about them. There's something that they're keeping back all the time. And I like people to be transparent and honest. And I don't like people to talk around a subject. I like people to go for the elephant in the room. I like, even if it's quite shocking language. I like people like Donald Trump because he tells it as it is, and I know he's a hypocrite and a narcissist and not and a very poor example of transparency because in fact he's a very cunning, sly little man that is very, very good. He's a diamond ambassador of, he's very, very good at marketing himself and everything. So not a good example, and yet I have this. I like that honestly. He's sort of honestly dishonest, or dishonestly honest, but he says all the right stuff anyway. Even if he's pretty ineffectual when it comes to doing anything. But as a mouthpiece, as a CEO of America Inc. I guess does a brilliant job actually, and he'll probably get voted in for another term because as CEO of America Inc., which is like the sort of Ferengi homeworld, as as put it in Star Trek terms, and the Ferengi, of course, are a parody on American, on America and America's big business and business orientated mindset and culture, which is great. I particularly like the Ferengi thing about. That your employees are like rungs on a ladder to success. And so don't be shy about stepping on them. I think that's really funny. Anyway, that's a sort of sense of humour I've got. Anyway, but no, so I don't really like school. I don't like the word school. So I'm never going to take the word school very seriously. And there's always, you're always afraid that you're going to say something wrong. And that's why I know it's a cult because I get this feeling that that there's something wrong that you're going to say any second. You have to really guard your words. And if you say something like critical of them, they kind of smile, but underneath there's like a flicker of anger there. They're certainly not a think tank, as it were. But I guess I'm a bit spoilt, really, because I was a member of Cardiff Theosophy Society for a long time, until I fell out with them. I always fall out with everybody. But they were quite interesting because although they were a Theosophy lodge, and ostensibly you're supposed to study theosophy when you go to that lodge. You really didn't have to at all, and you could just go and basically it was a seekers club, basically broad-minded, think tank, and you could really go and talk about literally anything, and nothing to do with theosophy at all, and. I mean, broadly New Age, I suppose, really, but like you pretty much talk about anything, and it was good. You never felt that the theosophy was a cult. Exactly. I mean, I know in some areas it really is a cult, and really is into mind control. But in this particular lodge, independent as it is from the actual lodge that runs the theosophy in the world, it was kind of independent thinking, and I like that really. See, I'm never one to take thought control. I mean, unless I'm controlling your thoughts, I don't like to be controlled. I like to do the controlling. I'm a dom, not a sub. Okay, and I don't switch. And we won't really go into that on YouTube, what that could mean. But anyway, and although I pretend I'm a sub, but I'm actually a dom, very much so. A complete megalomaniac, actually. And of course, you say you're not a megalomaniac. Well, you say you are a megalomaniac, but really you're saying you're not a megalomaniac, but really you are a megalomaniac underneath not saying a megalomaniac. So it's sort of onion rings and rings and rings, of torturous self-delusion, all brought about by school. School mind control. So school abused me, school bullied me, school bored me, and now I pretty much hate society for everything it stands for. I'm a child of the 1980s, so I'm full of hatred and full of disgust and disdain. And this, I suppose, isn't really Gnostic at all, because Gnostic is about forgiveness of the system and forgiveness of the demiurge and forgiveness of the lower worlds. Because if you hate the lower worlds, of course, you will attract even more of their essence to you. That's a knockout law. And if you obsessively love the lower worlds, well, then you get some other problem to do with rejection of the world. But the world rejects you, and so you end up suffering a bit more. So either way, you don't want to be obsessive about anything, neither hatred nor love. You should really treat these lower worlds with total indifference if you can. That's what you need to practice, is this practice of indifference, and letting go of your emotions. And managing your emotions as well, because it's upon emotions that the demiurge feeds, and his agents feed on these emotions, and the stronger they are, the more he feeds. So he doesn't feed on rationality, that's for sure. Which is why Plato said that rationality was higher than emotions every time, because because you can't feed off rational energy so much as you can out of irrational energy. And if you look at like concerts, heavy metal rock bands, I mean, they generate emotion off which the public, their audience feeds, and the audience is feeding off the band, and then of course in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you literally saw people being reduced to skeletal remains as a result of their fans literally feeding vampirically off their energy, off their creative energy. And so they took to heroin and cocaine in order to compensate for this, and then died. Miserable addict's death. And that's the rock star for you. Narcissistic rock star. That's the story, the road to nowhere. Anyway, so, but I digress very much. I was talking about the Golden Rosy Cross mystery school. They do have a guru, for example. He may be dead, but he's still their guru. And you can't really say anything against the guru, because he what he says is absolutely, is the truth. So where individual Gnosticism, individual gnosis comes in, I'm not sure really. But to be charitable, I suppose he would argue, look, I'm just providing a chalice. I'm providing a framework in which you can actually cultivate your individual gnosis. So it's not like I'm actually dictating what you think. I'm just providing you with the resources to enable you to receive gnosis yourself. And that's pretty much what a school would argue too. We're just providing resources to our students for the students to think for themselves ultimately, if that's what they want to do. Of course, if they don't want to do that, then that's fine as well. But I mean, but I mean, I just have a pathological hatred of schools, so you're never going to get me to join any mystery school, whatever, simply because of the name, really. That goes for ashrams as well. I don't like ashrams. I don't like gurus. I don't like magical orders of any kind. I don't like groups. I don't like churches. I don't like anyone in authority. I don't like anyone being a congregation or a priesthood. Every man, every woman is a star. Every man, every woman is their own priest, as far as I'm concerned. And that's bloody well hard enough to sustain as it is. Never mind a structure with a director of studies and all that kind of stuff. No, I swim free. But I mean, I think the Golden Rosy Cross does actually offer terrific resources, and most of them are absolutely free. And their temple is amazing. It looks a bit like a crematorium, but they've got nice gardens to roam about in and to find yourself in. So I would recommend joining the Golden Rosy Cross. It's just not for me, not at all. Maybe that's definitely my loss. I'm sure of that.